I mean, agencies closing down would be horrific. People would end up homeless, or in jail, or I think a lot of people would end up dead. I mean, what are you gonna do if you can't feed yourself and there's nobody there to support you in getting food?
A DSP is a direct support professional. They really support people in a wide range of roles. It can be skill training, it can be companionship, it can be assistance with medication.
Just from one moment spent together, it can really just turn around somebody's entire life.
They're really the foundation of what we do. They're where the rubber meets the road. If they don't do a great job, we don't do a great job.
Currently, there is not enough resources built into state Medicaid funding for wages for direct support professionals employed by community agencies.
I mean, I've seen staff leave because of the wages, and the people are crushed. The people I'm supporting are crying, and they're begging to me saying, I don't know why they leave, and I don't have a better response other than, I'm sorry, but they have to do it to support their family.
There's a crisis in staffing direct support professionals, and it is a crisis that affects everyone who has a disability.
When the staffers come in, it takes a while to get to know them, but I teach them that it's really cool here, and you teach them about yourself. And then once they have to leave, I don't feel like I can trust a random person without getting to know them. I think everybody feels that way.
It was about 5 years ago that Katie's behaviors increased to the point where my husband and I were struggling to raise her, and we knew that we needed additional help. Katie is profoundly deaf, and if you're not fluent in sign language, then she's a mystery. Finding people who understand Katie is a gift, and people don't come around very often that can do so. Unfortunately, the staff turnover is great. So we've lost people, and then we start the whole process all over again.
When we lose a direct support professional and have to hire another one, we're faced with the recruiting and training costs for that new direct support professional, which ends up being around $10,000. In addition to that, while the position stands open, we're having to fill that in whatever way we can, which is often with other staff who are already at their 40 hours, so that then you're paying overtime in addition.
If I worked 80 hours a week, I could make a middle-class income, but I have to be a parent, I have to be a dad. Granny Beetle gave us these tiles for Christmas, so we'll paint on these. Okay, what color do you want to put there? Pink. People love to say, but it's not skilled work, it's not skilled labor. The assumption being, of course, that compassion is not a skill. I mean, this is why we have therapists, right? This is why we have priests and clergy and doctors. Of course compassion is a skill.
Being a DSP is extremely confusing because there is no book that we can just hand to a person and say, this is how you will be successful supporting this person to get to the greatest goals of their life. You kind of have to figure it out, and being a DSP, you have to build that relationship with that specific person. What works for this person over here is not going to work for this person over here.
When you see a relationship end, it makes Amy sad, makes her feel unsafe. I think for Amy, how it affects her the most is that she harms herself because she's anxious and nervous.
I've seen a person that we support be so upset by a staff that's left that they've assaulted themselves until they're unconscious. And that's just, it kills you. It kills you to watch that person, want to kill themselves because somebody can't make enough money to stay. And they're crying and they don't know, they don't know what to do.
I feel like the system's failing the people we support because we're not able to provide those basic needs, and everyone's basic need is trust and security.
If we cannot pay people to do what they are gifted to do, it's never going to work.
I don't know how much longer we can last. I'm afraid that we are moving towards seeing some of the smaller agencies topple really, really quickly.
We have 100 open positions right now across the state. We have 600 employees who rely on this job. So I feel like, I think for the first time ever, I'm a little scared.
It's a big bubble that's gonna pop if we don't do something structured and organized to stabilize this workforce and to help professionalize this industry.
I don't know what the state's plan would be. If the agency shut down, it's tough to say because these are the people that provide the supports for the people who need them. And they're very vital to the system and it being able to maintain and being run.
Consider for a minute parents who were in their 70s and 80s, parents who are now living in nursing care homes. There are not family members to absorb the care for these people.
If a group home had to shut down and Katie returned home, we could not manage to do this without support.
I love my job and I love the clients that I work with, but I understand why people leave.
Who's being most affected by all of this is the people that we support. I'm seeing changes in their quality of life because they don't have people in their lives that they trust to provide support to them.
We tend to look at people with disabilities and we say, you know, why don't you know how to do this better? And it's because we never created the environment for them to learn.
You do the best you can. That's all you can ever do is the best you can. And you feel like it's never enough.
And I hate to think, that money is the cause. But not knowing if I'm going to be able to pay my rent. Wondering how I'm going to provide for my kids.
The number of people needing support and the number of people with disabilities is rising. So the need is just going to get greater.
It's not just a problem for the future, it's a problem for right now.
I think that you lie to yourself and you say that, I'll come back, I'll come visit, I'll still be in your life, and then you don't.
The clients don't go away, right? They're always there. They have day-to-day realities and day-to-day needs. And if we're not there, that work doesn't happen.
I don't want someone to have to be hurt. I don't want something bad to have to happen before our system pays attention to what a critical situation that we're in.
The basic thing that all families want is for their children to be happy, to be safe.
We all want the same things. So maybe there isn't such a difference between myself and them at all.
So a world without DSPs looks like we just don't care.